KYSR Los Angeles.
Proud parents to Woody, Gina, Greg, and Menace.
What up? It's the Woody Show.
And the best alt tunes daily.
Every morning.
We're Alt 98.7.
LA's new alternative.
Portions of this program will be recorded.
This is Weird. The Woody Show. And we're into another new hour. Here on this Thursday morning. It's a pre-Friday. It's March 20th, 2025. Woody, Greg, Menace is right now. Gina Grad.
Yeah.
We got Seabass.
Oh, yeah.
And his girlfriend. A lot of people talking about your girlfriend.
Maybe the future, folks.
She's hot.
Maybe the future.
Yeah. It's so hot, man. We got Sammy.
Morning.
Morgan's taking your calls, 877-44-WOODY. You can send us a text over to 22987. Today is story day, and so everybody here in the studio has been asked, hey, what's your go-to story? It seems like everybody's got one. Like, if you had to tell, what's your best story, meaning the most interesting? If it's the only story you can tell to people from now for the rest of your life, what story would you go with? I think for mine is the one where I was at the boarding school and they were taking me to a different, my parents had hired that dude to take me to the other intervention program
to
thing.
escort you.
Yeah, exactly. And so this guy picks me up and, we're in handcuffs because, I have one hand in a handcuff, the other one's to the inside the door.
Oh my God.
And that's protocol for what they do. I was in another one where they had me completely handcuffed behind my back in the back of a car for hours on end.
But let's call it boarding school.
Well, let's call him a good kid, too.
Yeah. Anyway, so
Yeah, that's crazy.
I had to wait a couple days to get into this intervention program, Desert Survival Intervention Program, and so we're going to stay at this hotel in Boise, and we pull up to the front of the hotel. He runs in to go check in. Later on that night, we're in the room just watching TV. This guy was very cool, by the way. He's just doing his job. He wasn't an a-hole or anything. We're watching TV. He's reading the paper or something like that, and this like banging at the door. He's like, what the? I go, please open up. He's like, what the? So he gets up. He's like, well, hold on. Now, one of his other tactics to keep kids from running off in the middle of the night on him is he would take those same handcuffs. Somehow he had this thing that he was able to basically handcuff the door closed.
Oh my God.
Right. And so
out of everything.
Yeah. So he goes, hold on. I got to get the, and he didn't even get the word handcuff out of his mouth. Handcuff. And the door came off the hinges. Boom. All these cops come rushing in. I'm just in the second bed in there, and they come in. They firemen carry me out of there, take me outside, throw me in a cop car, and we go about a mile down the road where they had a staging area set up.
Damn.
And they're like, are you okay? I'm like, what the hell's going on? Meanwhile, the guy, his name was Ivan Pixley. I'll never forget his name. He's big, tall, huge Texan dude, and they have him on the ground, on his stomach, gun to the back of his head. Oh. Don't you move. I got papers from his parents. I've been hired by his parents to bring him. And that's all I heard as I'm being shuttled out of the room.
Wow.
Anyway, it turns out that while he was checking into the hotel, somebody walking by saw a kid handcuffed to the inside of the car and thought I'd been kidnapped.
They did the right thing.
Yeah, so they called the cops. Cops waited till sundown, and then they barred. I guess they had been keeping an eye on us throughout the day.
Oh my God!
See something, say something.
Yeah, we had gone and grabbed dinner and the whole thing.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah. Anyway, that's my crazy story.
That's a pretty crazy
so wait,
story.
You were so bad at one.
I had sex with my girlfriend at the school, which is a big no-no, and so they kicked me out.
Oh, no.
Nice.
And they sent me to this desert survival program.
So
It
a
was called
bounty hunter had
Seuss.
to get you.
Yeah, because my parents weren't gonna fly to Oregon from New Jersey to take me, and yeah, so they
you had a
so
girlfriend.
the school says, hey, we have a recommendation for this service who will do this, and they go, okay.
Your mom really didn't want you. Huh?
Yeah, so many of your stories seem like a gross
Why would
overreaction.
they take you?
I feel like there's a second side of the story we don't get to hear.
There's not a second side of the story. That's how it went. It was a very strict school. If you ever watched those documentaries that are about
No, I believe
the same,
that part of the school. I think what he's implying is the reason that you went to the school.
Yeah, it's-
and
It
kept
says
getting
that-
bounced around.
says
That's
that
what
you-
I'm saying. It's
Well,
an overreaction.
I got bounced around because I got kicked out of school for having sex with a girlfriend. Went to the desert survival thing. Went back to that same school. Had sex with a different girlfriend. Got expelled that time. Wasn't allowed back. So ended up at the school in Alabama. And I just hung out there. And I told him, hey, when I'm 18, I can leave. They can't keep me there anymore. And so my parents, my mom, seeing the end of the road there, said, okay, fine, you can go live with your dad. I went and lived with my grandfather, actually, in Pittsburgh, graduated high school, started radio within, about a month after getting there? And I've been in radio ever since, and there we go. That's the end of the story. That's literally how it went.
That's insane.
Yeah, because these schools are crazy strict.
And I thought you were going to say one of his tactics from keeping kids from running is like, so I take all their clothes.
No.
So they kick in the door and you're
kids,
like naked.
Kids would run naked. They would totally do that. Gina, what's your go-to story?
Well, this was probably 10 years ago. I had a friend in high school that I hadn't talked to in years, but we were really close in high school. She called me out of the blue and asked me to be a bridesmaid in her wedding. I was like, yeah, sure. Okay. So I flew back to Kansas. And the morning of the wedding, we had to get there early because they're doing like the bridal pictures, whatever. And I had this very delicate bridesmaid dress, like taffeta and lace and whatever. Laid it in the back of my mom's car because I was driving myself. Shout out Toyota Corolla. I'm driving on the highway and there's this girl who's like my age driving very erratically next to me. For whatever reason, she kind of jerks into me and I jerk away. I hit the median going like 60, 65 miles an hour. Flip the car. And while it's flipping, I feel very like calm and quiet, and it feels like it's happening in slow motion. And the car just, flips back to, being on its proper side. This is how you know it's Kansas. Everybody on the highway stops where they are, runs out of their car, and tries to check on me. So they all come. The ambulance comes. I remember saying to the medic two things. I don't have insurance and you're really hot. That's all I remember saying. They took me to the hospital. I see doctors leaning over me. I do not have a scratch on me. No cuts, no bruises, no bleeding, nothing.
And this is the time,
miracle.
airbags? Were there airbags?
Yeah, airbags,
okay, so
and I
they
flipped the car.
Okay.
Everything deployed. Get back to my mom's house. She goes to retrieve her car, which looks like a Godzilla stepped on it. It's crushed.
Wow.
It's done. The only thing that is perfect mint condition is this GD dress. So she brings the dress back. I'm shaken up and I'm sore, but I feel pretty good. So I demand to be driven to the wedding with the dress and use my mom's makeup and her shoes. And I walk down. I'm there for my friend. Kind of stole the show. Felt a little bad because I was a big hero.
Was this the day before or the day of?
The day of.
Oh, my God.
So a few hours later, I was like, I actually am fine. I'm a little sore, not a cut, not a scrape. And I remember just feeling like it was all happening in slow motion and I was going to be totally fine. It was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
We are lucky to have you.
Yeah. I'm lucky to be here. Trust
And
me.
because she'll be there. Like, she's like the postal service.
That
Rain,
is
sleet.
dedication.
Right. She'll get there. Car accident.
Yeah.
Greg Gorey, what's your go-to story?
Well, this is tough for me because I've told you guys about the sex tape, the food getting spilled on the airplane, the food
it's
poisoning
just
on the
whatever
airplane.
your best story. It doesn't have to be something we haven't heard.
I think the go-to one, I don't think Gina's heard
Please.
it, has got to be the layers of my Marky Mark obsession. Because it's just so embarrassing in retrospect that when I was in college, so just mega in the closet, and I found out that Marky Mark was going to be in Playgirl, so I had to get it.
Obviously.
Right? So I had to rehearse.
As a closeted man still.
Uh-huh, sure.
So how I was going to buy this at this local pharmacy drugstore thing, act like I didn't know what Playgirl was. This was after a week of rehearsing, seeing who's working, what time, when is
Doing
it
a stakeout?
when is it the slowest at the store. And then I said I needed to buy a Playboy and something called Playgirl, I think it's called. Because I had
love
to buy
that.
both, and then I
story's
thought,
so great.
okay, now I have the magazine in my possession. I can't just go back to my dorm because my roommates are going to see
Right.
it. So I have to come up with a story. My story was I had to do a term paper comparing and contrasting Playboy with Playgirl.
Wow.
So I had to actually write this fake term paper because I had to keep it real.
Because your roommates look at your term papers.
Exactly. 'Cause, I mean,
always
what
in
was
my
I
stuff.
thinking? Oh, the great lengths I go to get this stupid thing. And then the whole bad punchline of it was I finally get like a minute alone, flip through the damn magazine. He's not even naked.
Oh, no.
And
All that
was
for nothing. He wrote the
weeks of
paper.
You
and
wrote a
Yeah.
real paper.
I rehearsed going to the store.
Oh,
I
my
checked out
God.
who was working.
Don't we have an animated
Pathetic.
podcast for
We
this?
do.
I believe we do.
I
yeah.
need to
Yep.
see it immediately.
Yeah, it's on our YouTube page, youtube.com/the
It's so
Woody
embarrassing.
Show.
We never
So
asked.
stupid.
What did your paper uncover, Greg?
I think I would.
Is it a 5-paragraph theme?
Yeah.
You know what? I might even have it somewhere.
I mean, you,
Oh,
I
sweet.
gotta try to find it.
did you write it legit, thinking, well, just in case somebody actually reads it?
Oh yeah, 100%.
You would have
Or just
gotten an
typing,
A.
or to say, just typing
That
random
would've
words.
ruled.
like-
I think I was saying how great
Hell yeah.
Playboy was because they had like a joke section, they had stories, they had good articles, and then
So
Playgirl
funny.
was just cheesy and lame.
Yeah,
and-
women. Huh?
Too hot. Way too hot.
Well, today is story day. What is your best go-to story. If you could only tell one story about you, involving you, what would it be? We still have Menace, we got Sammy, we got Seabass to share their stories. That's coming up next here on The Woody Show.
The Woody Show. We'll be right back.
Alt 98.7. LA's